Hey, this is David Hayter. You may know me as the screenwriter of films like X-Men, X-Men 2, and Watchmen, but you probably know me best as the voice of Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. And you're listening to Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast. Kept you waiting, huh?
All right, and welcome everyone to another episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast. I'm your host, Mekel Kasanova, coming at you with another phenomenal interview. And in today's episode, I've got the honor and privilege of interviewing the one, the only, the sensational and iconic GAEL Level. This man is just simply amazing because not only is he a photographer and a Twitch streamer, but he's also a content creator on YouTube and all social media outlets. The man's a creative genius, and it's just one of those things where you see anything on his social media outlets or on his Twitch streams or in his YouTube videos or just his posts in general, and you just see how much of a creative genius he is. I mean, the dude just, his innovations of what he does for his streams and his just content in general is simply second to none. And in this episode, we're going to talk not only about that, but also, about advice we can give to content creators coming up or people who are aspiring to become content creators, his journey, and so much more. So if you're ready to do it, I'm ready to do it. Let's go ahead and welcome GAEL onto the show.
Hey guys, GAEL Level here, full-time content creator and Twitch streamer. You are now listening to the Kasanova Podcast, the #1 podcast in Hawaii.
All right, and welcome everyone to another episode of Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast. I'm your host, Mekel Kasanova, and I've got the honor and privilege to once again have my good friend, the one, the only, the iconic and sensational, the one and only GAEL Level. GAEL, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me again. It's been a while.
It feels like it's been a year since the last time, but this whole concept of time right now, this pandemic is just
it's crazy. Can't keep up with it. Impossible.
So how's everything where you are? Like how have you been doing and how's I guess dealing with the pandemic where you are is going? Like how is that?
For me personally, it's been okay because like I don't get out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go out a lot, like at all. Yesterday I think I went in like the middle of Paris for the first time since the pandemic started, and it was actually weird for me to see how many people were sitting outside of restaurants and bars.
Really?
It was like a ton of people. No one's wearing a mask, and I was like, "What is going on here? We're still in the pandemic. It's so weird." But yeah, I noticed that people taking public transportation, people going outside to buy groceries, everyone is wearing masks. But as soon as you get to those places where there's a lot of bars and nightclubs and stuff like that, like, no one cares. Everyone is outside just drinking wine and eating at restaurants. It's weird. When it first started out, I was proud because I saw everyone with masks. I was like, okay, I'm glad I live in a country where people are people are not stupid. But I was wrong. I was completely wrong. I think the stupid is everywhere.
It's astronomically like mind-blowing how stupid people are being right now. Like I know out here in Hawaii we have people that just like if we're actually, as of 12 a.m. we just hit our 4th lockdown, so now we're just fully again on lockdown again.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
Yeah, like our governor Ige, he's like, yeah, we're locking down. They say it's going to be for 2 weeks this time. I'm like, yeah, at the rate that people are getting cases here, I think it's going to be longer than that. But yeah, people will go to the gym, refuse to wear a mask. They go to stores, refusing to wear a mask. They, when the restaurants open up, it's the same thing with people just sitting out, with no mask on. Like social distancing, that whole concept is just, like, if you go to like a grocery store or you go to like a retail store or whatever, it's like people are just like this close to each other. And then you have those who want to yell at other people for like not wearing a mask, and they're not wearing a mask themselves. Like, it's God, I don't know what's going on with people.
Yeah, it's a big eye opener. This whole pandemic thing. It lets us realize where we're at and where the whole world is at. I remember saying that a zombie apocalypse, if it's like slow zombies, it can never happen because it's slow zombies. We would eradicate them in a couple minutes, in a couple hours max, and it would be taken care of. Now we don't even have to, there's no actual survival skill required. Just wear a piece of clothing on your face, and this is hard apparently, and people are dying because of it. That's crazy when you think of it.
Yeah, then you got the folks here in America. They're like, "Oh, it's my rights. I have rights, and you're infringing on it." I'm like, okay, but you could save lives. You could keep yourself from getting infected. Just cover.
Yeah. It's weird. It's really weird.
It's crazy. It's amazing what it's done to the economies around the world and people who work traditional jobs. And I'm going to lead that into like what we do, being full-time creators. Like, it's really seeing an uptick for us with our work and with the amount of people that are diving into content creation. But from your perspective, like, what would you say that you've seen as far as all this?
My numbers went, like, they shot up when quarantine first hit. Like, they went up like crazy, to the point where I got kind of scared, because I was like, oh, once everything calms down, those numbers are going to go back down, and I don't know if I'm ready for them to go back down right now, or I don't know if I have the capacity to keep them up there. It's like, it goes up, it's good, of course, but then you're like, in the long term, what does that mean, right? And I did well in keeping the numbers, especially when it comes to YouTube and stuff like that. So far, so good.
It right now on YouTube.
Thank you. But it's I think I was in the perfect position, basically, teaching people how to get started with possibly making a hobby an actual income source, So a lot of people have time now, and they're like, hey, maybe I should start doing that thing on my computer at home, because that's all I need. So I try to steer them in the right direction too. I teach a lot of Twitch stuff, and I let them know, hey, if you've been laid off of your job because of the pandemic and stuff like that, Twitch might not be the best solution for you. If your goal is, find something and start making money online without leaving your house, live streaming is it's not in the top 5 best things to do to make money online. It's a good thing once you get it going, but the whole process of getting it going is so weird, and it's not, there's no guarantee at all, so that you're risking so much. It's high risk, high reward, but it's very, very, very high risk. I know people who've been streaming. You probably also know people who've been streaming for years who are not even meeting the $100 requirement to get paid every month. So that's why I feel like most people say, when they say don't start Twitch for money, start it as a hobby, because you have to be pretty passionate to do this for years without getting paid. So it's fine if you're really having fun, but that being said, unless you start, you'll never know if you're really into live streaming. There's no other way of knowing, because you got to start. You got to really get in there. But yeah, the whole pandemic kind of shifted a lot of things. And when I say it's an eye opener when it comes to humanity and how societies react to it, it's also an eye opener for a lot of my friends who work like normal jobs. and they realize how their the administration or like the hierarchy of their jobs, how they reacted to it and how they weren't protecting their employees basically, and it made them really realize how scummy it can be. It's like, oh wow, to me it's funny because like I kind of stopped working normal jobs well, that's one of the reasons why I stopped. So I know this stuff, I know how bad it can get, but I have some of my friends who are telling me, wow, it's crazy, like it's like they don't care about their employees, we're actually risking our lives and stuff. I'm like, yeah, what's new, so I think that helps them go and look for like internet jobs or independent activities that can bring them money. It's pretty cool.
No, and yeah, it's definitely something like I've noticed that as well, like because well, at the time of this recording, I'm about, I want to say, a few days shy of being a full-time content creator, because it's been about almost a year since I left my job at the hospital. I think I was working at when we last did this. I was working at the hospital, and it's crazy because then the department that I was in, right when the pandemic hit, well, maybe a month or so after it hit, let's say like mid-March or April. So the department I had just closed. So our whole because I was working in telecom, and so they ended up closing that department and letting all the people go that were in that department. And the operators that we had, they started outsourcing our operations to the Philippines. So it's it's crazy because I have people that tell me like, hey, there's no job security in what you're doing content creation. I'm like, well, I still always have something I can work on. Like, I'm not trying to, like, not a brag, but at least I'm still working. I've seen people just with this whole situation, their whole careers just like, yeah, it's crazy. And the thing is, like, like you said it, and I've seen it too. Like, a lot of these companies don't care. Like, you're a number, they're gonna replace you.
Yeah.
And I know, like, for my for my wife, like, even for her, she was a store manager at her place, and they let her and her whole team go, and they've not even bothered to reopen it. It's absolutely insane. Just there is that whole idea of job security. It's like there's security in your skill set.
Yeah.
Job, no.
Yeah. I'm thinking of actual independent entrepreneurs who, just opened up a small business and stuff like that. I feel bad I feel like they were hit like the hardest, I know there's a vape shop that opened up down my street right before, like 2 days before we went on lockdown. And it's a vape shop, so no one's going to come in and putting their mouth in your vapes during a pandemic, Plus, we already have another vape shop. So it's like, it was also, like, in my opinion, a bad business decision, but the pandemic did not help. So they just never have any customer. Every single day, there's one dude working there. He's just outside the door, just chilling on his phone until it's the end of the day where he packs up and then leaves. I can't imagine taking a loan, to start your business, having this business plan, being like, yeah, in 2 or 3 years, people are going to buy my product. We're going to grow, we're going to pay back the loan. And then the whole world shuts down on you. That's horrible. It's even thinking of it, it's like, oh, I'm glad I wasn't in that position.
Dude, we've had so many small businesses out here, just like, I want to say within the month of March or so, or hell, even when like we reopened, try to launch a business. I'm over here like thinking, what are you doing? We've had gyms like just out of nowhere, like, yeah, we just opened like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, and like now we're in this full shutdown. I'm like, yeah, you got no no customers coming through. Like
Yeah.
and I feel like a lot of people, they may not understand like how business works, because typically when you open, okay, so for the audience, when you're a small business owner, you're typically going to operate in the red for the first 2 to 3 years before you break even. And right now, don't try to do not.
And when you first start, you're in the big red. You're in the big red. Like you don't check your accounts at all, because that number is probably scary. Yeah, I can't imagine what it's like. And you're like, especially if like rent is not canceled for your workplace, for wherever you're renting to open up that business. Depending on your placement, there's people paying, from 2,000 to up to 10,000 a month for a business that is, it's not that it's not making money, that is straight up not even open. That's it hurts to think about it.
It's absolutely insane. But and it's cool that we have the opportunity, with streaming, with content creation on YouTube or wherever, podcasting, to try different avenues to make money. And I know you've spoken on this many times before, but having multiple income streams is so pivotal. Like with the people that think, oh, I'm just gonna hop on Twitch, and like I know some folks out here in Hawaii, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna hop on Twitch and I made affiliate, I'm gonna make partner like that. And I'm like, no.
Even when you're partnered, so many partners are not making money at all. Like at all. I know some partners that are not. We're talking about that $100 minimum. I know some partners who are not making that. So yeah, that verified badge is an achievement. It's a milestone, but it really doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. You got to put in that work, and it's again, streaming is like so much work versus the reward you get. And even on the long run, it almost seems like, if we're really not talking about the hobby and the passion side of it, it's really, it's it's the worst business avenue that you can embark on. It's really, you might as well just get Photoshop and then get GIMP and then start making commissions, start doing commissions. Like you're going to be making way more money in a month than you would make in a year with Twitch, for real.
Yeah.
Unless you're really insane, but everyone thinks they're insane. And then they compare themselves to 2 other million streamers that think they're insane. And yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely, if you're thinking about streaming, go for it, but have something else, like sell merch, sell your skill set, do some stuff on like Fiverr. There's so many different ways that you can make money. And I think with this pandemic, it's really shown us that you do not want to have all your eggs in one basket entirely. Actually, not even just with the pandemic. That's all about Mixer. Dude.
I saw it coming. I'm not gonna lie. I saw the death of Mixer coming when years ago. I saw it years ago. I stopped talking at first. I was like, oh, Mixer's gonna die. Mixer's gonna die. And people were like, don't say that, or oh, competition is good for Twitch, which is, I agree with that. But Mixer was no competition to Twitch, So people were getting offended on behalf of the platform they stream on, which is so weird to me. Like, there's no one from staff that knows you exist, dude. Like, don't take anything personally. Like, there's criticism. You can criticize YouTube. I criticize YouTube, and I make most of my money on YouTube, But yeah, people were basically really did not like me talking about Mixer, talking about Microsoft not having any successful social platforms since MSN Messenger. Was that? No, they had to buy that, actually.
Yeah, they bought that.
They bought Skype, and
they bought just about everything. And then
yeah,
they use it for 2 or 3 years before they throw it away.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, Microsoft never had. I won't say never because someone's gonna come up with an example. I'm gonna look stupid, but Microsoft is not known.
They got Xbox. Hey, look how well that worked out.
So yeah, that was the basis of my prediction. I was like, "There's no way." And then I saw like some techniques that they were doing to advertise, and I was like, instead of promoting, they were really basing it off of trying to pull people from Twitch in a certain way. There was a Mixer booth at TwitchCon last year, I think. Like, what are you doing?
Are you serious?
If there was a MixerCon, I don't think Twitch would show up there. Twitch doesn't need that, and of course they needed it, but it's a bad look. It's a bad look.
That's
it's
like
a very, very bad look.
And promoting another club.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things they were doing where they were I think the whole marketing strategy was based off of pulling people from Twitch, which in theory sounds good because that's where the streamers are, the young, passionate people who love video game and love live streaming. They're on Twitch, but don't make your marketing so obvious that we can tell that, because you will always seem lesser. You know what I mean? Instead of putting yourself up there and being like, Twitch, we don't know about Twitch. We got our own thing going on. No, it was mostly like it felt at least more like, oh, we would love for Twitch streamers to come to our platform. When they paid like Ninja and Shroud to move, to me, that was like such a desperate
move. That
was desperation at its finest. And like it was $1 million contracts, so it was like, that's it. It sounds like a good thing because they wanted a certain fluctuation, and it happened. There was a migration of a lot of people who moved from Twitch to Mixer, who moved from YouTube to Mixer. That happened. The thing that did not happen, however, is viewers coming to Mixer. Because that's what you want. The viewers are the one paying. The streamers are just here and they're trying to make money, but the viewers are paying for the subs. The viewers are talking about and at a certain point that strategy backfired, and there were more people streaming on Mixer than people watching. So what do you do at this point? How do you, instead of focusing on bringing viewers, they focused on bringing streamers, and then it backfired like in a major way. It's crazy.
And now you got all of the folks going to Facebook gaming, and
I don't know the numbers on that. I don't know if most people went to Twitch or actually did the migration to Facebook gaming. In my head, I want to feel like most people went to Twitch, but I don't know the numbers, so I couldn't tell.
I want to assume more people went to Twitch. I know a few folks that decided to go to Facebook gaming, and I'll say this: I knew I won't. Well, I'll tell you offline the guy's name, but one of the people who was like high up there with Facebook gaming and who was pushing heavily and whatnot. Right, maybe like a week or so after Mixer shut down, this person ended up like, come over here to Facebook gaming, and then next thing you know, they left Facebook gaming for another company. And so you got all these people saying like, oh, okay, Facebook gaming is great, go there. And even I was like at one point thinking, I might try it out, but then I remembered that I was like, wait, no.
Yeah.
Because first off, Facebook as a platform, a lot of us don't even like it. I know most of us don't.
Yeah. Like if I were to tell you what are the worst platforms, so what are the worst big social platforms right now, you would probably say Facebook, Snapchat, maybe Instagram. I love Instagram, but I understand people who put Instagram in there. I get it 100%. I won't fight it. But yeah, it's Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. But Facebook, the whole thing with Facebook is that they switched it up on us.
Yeah.
When we joined Facebook, Facebook was cool. Facebook was the thing that all your friends had, and you can share everything. It was our Twitter, it was our Instagram, it was our Snapchat, it was everything. But then slowly, like, they started seeing parents joining Facebook. So they were like, you know what, kids maybe don't have the money, maybe the parents have money. And then people started making business pages, and they were like, how can we make money with that? Boom. Okay. Boost your post or whatever, make money, Facebook Marketplace and all of that. And then they started catering more and more to the parents rather than the people who had Facebook accounts before. And then and now Facebook is just straight up, it's a joke. It's a joke of a social media platform. There's everything, but there's like, it's anything that you're gonna try to do professionally is gonna be heavily influenced by money. It's gonna be like, hey, pay us. If you have a Facebook page, a fan page, like they used to call it, you'll get notifications telling you, hey, this post is pretty cool, you should probably pay to boost it. Like, give us $5, we'll show it to 1,000 people. And then they started charging you to show your post to your own fans.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I have 3,000 fans on a page, but I'm only getting like 10 likes. What's going on? And Facebook is like, hey, if you give us $10, we'll show. I was like, what was the point of them finding me on your platform and then following me, and then you decided to not show my posts to them? And this is where like the whole algorithm pleasing game started. It's like you have to post every single day. You start it, and then you become a sort of, this thing that was fun just became straight up work. So unless you have a small business, a local business where you really need to reach everyone around you to let them know about your business, like if you're a gamer or if you're a content creator that's doing things kind of like in our niche, because like if you're a motivational speaker, or if you're one of those fake business gurus, Facebook is great for you. Like, use Facebook, because straight up right now, when you think of Facebook, like, people call it boomer book. It's where it's not where the smartest people are. It's not the best place where that's where all the conspiracy theories, like, it's Facebook. So yeah, like, everyone is just running away from it right now. It's a joke. It's such a joke. And now they have Oculus, which is a good thing. And I remember I was saying, wow, Oculus seems to be like Facebook. It's weird, but Facebook is the only company that's trying to make VR actually affordable, right? I got in Oculus Rift S, and I was praising the price for what it can do. I was like, that's amazing. That's cheaper than a console. You can get VR for less than a console. They came out with the Oculus Quest that doesn't even require a computer. It's like, what? What? Like, this is the future. This is amazing. And now they're like, okay, by the way, if you have a headset, you got to link it with Facebook, otherwise you can't use it. And I'm like, okay, that's why it's cheap. I get it now. All right, so you're buying my data. Actually, you're not you're not selling it cheap. I'm the product, really. It's horrible. Facebook is trash. I deactivated my fan page a couple of days ago because I was getting weird messages from the weird people of Facebook, and and my goal is to deactivate my at least to clear out completely my personal page. I have a bunch of information. I have a bunch of memories in there. Like, I've had it since 2005. I think I've had it. No, probably. Yeah.
So we've had it around about the same time. Back when it was like the invite only time.
Yeah. I remember a friend pretty much forced me into getting Facebook. That's how I got in. And my first account was banned. I don't remember why. And then I made a second one, and I still have it to this day. But yeah, I'm gonna download all of my data, all of my pictures. I'm gonna try to do a clean sweep and then just delete every piece of information. Especially right now with my YouTube channel and stuff like that, people are looking up my name. I have the same name on Facebook. So people find my personal Facebook and they're sending me messages like, hey dude, I just bought your overlay pack. How do I install it? And it creeps me out. It creeps me out so much to get random messages on my personal Facebook, because I'm like, that's where my mom is, that's where my brother, that's my family. That's where I keep all the people that I grew up with. And then to have strangers come in and message me there, I've never felt like this before, but like it's super, super creepy. So I decided I need to clear everything out. Can't be doing this.
Yes. And because I know you had a tweet about that, and I know I commented on that a couple of days ago. But yeah, dude. Okay, so for the audience, when we're saying weird messages, we're talking about weird fucking messages, like weird shit, and it's man.
It's coming from a certain type of people.
Yeah.
It's coming from the caricature of what a Facebook user.
Yeah.
We would think what a Facebook user nowadays would be, basically. It's weird.
Yeah. It's I've gotten because I've had that happen to me recently, where I've had people start, because I deactivated my fan page as well. And I had people hitting me up on my personal, which on my personal, I'm using, I don't have my, the Mekel Kasanova name. I'm using my real last name. And people are like, yeah, I couldn't reach you on that one. So I just looked it up and I was like, oh, the profile picture looks the same. So I just wanted to ask you about,
wow.
It's like, I want to know, how is that Razer controller holding up for you? Or how is that what is it, fight stick or whatever, or any of the shit that I review on YouTube? They're like, yeah, I want to ask you about that. And I'm thinking, you could have commented on the YouTube video.
Yeah, that's also a weird thing. I try to avoid talking about this like too much, because I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, basically.
I understand.
but like there's a weird relationship with creators and DMs. It's so weird. It is so weird, because that's something, even when I wasn't a content creator, I don't think I've ever DM'd any creator to ask them questions. I've never done this before. If I had a question, I would comment it, on their post, or if they're a live streamer, I would ask them live, if they were taking questions at the time, But the DMs that I get are so weird that it's like you have a question on a specific video, but you decided to not comment on that video, and you decide to find me like on Instagram, where I post pictures of myself, and then DM me. Like, it's weird. It's weird. But that being said, like, I kind of it took a while for me to ignore DMs, because I never made the transition. In my head, I'm still, the up and coming content creator who's gonna blow up someday. I still have that mentality, in the point that
up and coming.
No, for real. I haven't made that switch completely. I don't feel any different, So in my head, it's the same thing. So I used to answer every single comment I get on YouTube, every single one of them, no exception. I used to read, like, every 10 minutes. I would check my YouTube channel to see if someone commented something so I can answer. I would even answer like hate mail. It doesn't matter. Someone says just commented lol, I'm gonna answer back lol. So then the comments started coming like more and more and more and more and more, and it was repetitive. A lot of people were saying the same thing. And I just realized, if like today, if I answer every single comment, it takes a couple of hours out of my day, and I can't afford doing that. Basically, I can't. It takes off so much of my productivity. And then you have that on top of, I sell products on like Gumroad, So I get DMs about those products, and those DMs I try to answer, even though I made like I have a whole Discord channel, a whole Discord server for people to ask those questions. But depending on the question, I take the time to answer. But if I was answering all DMs from Twitch, from Twitter, from Instagram, and reading and responding to every comment on YouTube, I would never be able to make content ever. I wouldn't have time to make content. So that day that I finally like let go of all of that, and I was like, I need to ignore this. It took a lot out of me. It took so much out of me, because I was so used to getting excited and you know, getting it done and connecting and stuff like that. So to this day, sometimes I sit down and I think of like DM previews that I've seen real quick that I haven't responded. I'm like, oh, I still want to respond, but if I respond, it's gonna spark a conversation, and then I'm gonna feel bad if I leave mid conversation. So I'd rather not answer. Plus, there's you know, there's a lot of, hi, I really love your content. It's amazing what you're doing for the community, and which is like, you know, heartwarming, and it makes me want to go, oh, thank you so much for watching my content. It's thanks to you that I'm here, blah, blah. And I used to do that, you know, because like I genuinely felt, well, I still feel great when I read those. But then I realized it's a huge technique for asking stuff. So people start with a compliment, you respond, and then you're hooked. And then they're like, by the way, if you can check out my stuff and give me advice. And you're like, I don't have, I have almost 60,000 subscribers on YouTube. If I was checking out everyone's channel and giving them personal advice, that private advice through DMs, I would literally be homeless, actually. Like I wouldn't be able to make content. I wouldn't be able to eat, to sleep. It's impossible. So yeah.
I've noticed, so I've gotten to that point myself, and I feel like we're on a similar wavelength with that, because there's that part of us that wants to like cater to the audience. It really wants to be there, you know, but at the same time, we had, you know, in the back of our head, we're like, hey, we're running a business. So there's that aspect. And sometimes I feel like people don't understand that. Like, for, you know, in my case, and I kind of just went through a whole, should I say, like a whole mess. It's a little messy with my, you know, most of my community and whatnot, and you know, newer folks coming in, because, you know, my Discord, I used to be the one that like I'm trying to, you know, be there in the Discord, answer every question, be in the comment section of my videos, and, you know, be there constantly on my website comments. But then I'm like, I can't do that, because I'm getting to a point where, you know, I got more and more bigger game companies like, hey, can you review this? Like now I'm working with Square Enix on games. You know, I'm working with, you know, Ubisoft. I'm working with these different companies on these games that before I didn't have that, you know, that opportunity. And I'm over here like, they're sending me AAA games. I kind of need to focus on that so I can review them. Or, you know, with, you know, since with my Twitch, you know, now I'm streaming primarily Final Fantasy, but I'll do other stuff as well. And people are like, well, why are you doing that? And I'm like, well, one, Square is actually helping push that, you know, I'm working alongside with them. So it got to a point where like I stopped responding to everything, and a lot of people took that like they were offended by that. They're like, oh, you're just ignoring me, you're not getting back to me. And I'm over here like, okay, first off, you live on the East Coast. That's a 6-hour time difference. So 1 o'clock my time is, you know, by the time I'm going to sleep, you're probably waking up to go to work. So there's that. And then you got to factor in, if I'm recording most of the games I'm getting, 40, 50, 60-hour games, I got to put time into that.
Yeah.
So I got to record it. I got to edit it. And then, when it comes to working, working with brands, like you got to put out certain promotional tweets. People give you embargoes and deadlines. And it's like, sometimes it feels like people don't understand. They think, oh, you're just a creator. We're just going to hang out. You can just drop everything when I hit you up. It doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. Like, we try to accommodate our audiences, but we do have a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, people. I feel like there's a lack of comprehension when it comes to the time that you have as a content creator. Because of course, like, I'm at my place, I'm in my pajamas, I'm eating, but also me scrolling Instagram is not necessarily me just scrolling Instagram because I have downtime. It could be me scrolling Instagram because I'm looking for relevant posts to a hashtag that has to do with my niche and I'm trying to network, So a lot of things that might seem that people do for fun, we do the same thing, but it still has, it's because we have to in order to stay, up to date with stuff and stay relevant. And that can be perceived as us being always on vacation, when in fact we're as stressed as we would be if we were working a normal job. I don't want to say we're more stressed, but we have that thing that nothing is guaranteed, and the numbers are everywhere. Like I can post a video, see that it's doing really well, be proud of it, and then I open up my Instagram. I'm like, okay, time to post my daily picture on Instagram, and then I see my Instagram numbers and they're very low, and I'm like, I'm failing,
Yeah.
So it's not one job. Like, being a content creator is really, really, really not one job. You have me particularly. I have like YouTube. I have to do well on Twitch. I have to do well on Twitter. I have to do well on Instagram. It's a lot. I have to do well on Gumroad if I'm selling my products. Recently, there was a bug with YouTube in the redirection with my link to Gumroad, and people were getting an error message. That costed me like thousands of dollars.
Oh,
and there's nothing you can do about that. YouTube has a bug. But what am I gonna do? I'm gonna hit up Susan. Like, I can't. I can't even hit up anyone at YouTube at all.
Yeah.
So I just tanked it, as people would do. I just sat down and I was like, I guess I'm losing thousands of dollars. That's okay. Like, I'm gonna wait and see if it goes back up. Thankfully, it's starting to get back up again. But that's a lot of stress. I feel like that's the stress that viewers don't necessarily think about, and that's fine, because I watch other YouTube content creators. I don't always, before becoming a YouTuber myself, I didn't think of that either. When you see someone on your screen and they're always, hey guys, GAEL level here, you don't think, you're not like, that guy's probably depressed. You don't think that. You're like, wow, that guy's probably off stream being like that too, and being all smiley and just living his life, and not to even think about like the image that people create in their minds of you based off of your content. And you're like, for example, me, I make tutorials. So any image that you can create from watching my tutorials, even if I were to be 100% real in those tutorials, it can't be true. It cannot be true, because you're watching me making tutorials on YouTube. That's so far from me just hanging out, or just me being with my friends, or me having like a heated debate or something like that. I think I posted about that a couple weeks ago. I said, like, even if you live streamed your life 24/7 and you tried to be as authentic as possible, people will still create an image of you in their minds that is absolutely not you. It's impossible to actually convey yourself, no matter how honest you are and stuff like. It's just impossible. And in today's climate, it's also not safe.
Yeah.
You have to practice a lot of restraint when you're a content creator, because justifiably you have a certain responsibility. You can't be going off. You can't be throwing words left and right because some of them will bounce back.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of. I wanted to make a video about this. Basically, all the little things that they don't tell you. Everyone tells you, oh, just be a YouTuber. Oh, be a content creator. It's better than working a 9 to 5. Some days I wish I could show up to work and then my boss tells me what to do. I wish. I wish. And then my salary is just the exact same. Even if I worked with a customer like really well, or if it didn't go that well, or if it was awkward, still same pay. But here it's like it's roller coaster. Of course, when it goes high, it can go really high, which is, that's capitalism in a nutshell. Yeah. But there are some days where I wish I had a guarantee, and I like to tell myself that I do this because I want the freedom. I want the freedom of expression. I want the freedom of creativity. I want the freedom. If I want to fly to like Spain tomorrow, I'm gonna go for 2 weeks. No one can tell me nothing. And it's true. I could do that. I'm in a position right now where I can totally just travel and do whatever. If I want, I can probably make vlogs and even monetize my travel. But here's the thing. While I'm traveling, I'm going to feel guilt. I'm going to feel the guilt the whole time. I can't take a normal vacation without thinking I should probably be posting stuff right now.
Yeah.
Like, is this the end of my, what if when I come back, everyone unsubbed and then I can never get them back ever again? It's like, in your head, one break might be the complete end of your career. And sometimes it is. Sometimes people take a break and then they come back, or like they take the break and then they never feel that motivation to actually really come back. And when they finally have it, it's too late. No one is sitting around waiting for you. People need to watch someone. They're gonna get familiar with someone else, and then that person is going to be part of their daily routine, and you're no longer part of their lives. It ain't easy. It ain't that easy.
No. And I really do hope you make that video, because because it's really something, because you really sit and think about it. Like, okay, like for me, I took 2 months off of podcasting. Podcasting is like my main outlet. 2 months off of that, and I was just focusing on Twitch because I moved. I think last time you were on here, I was streaming mainly on YouTube. And then YouTube has some type of weird algorithm change where it affected your channel if you streamed on it too much. And it was like, I started noticing like everything else that I was doing. I used to do, I could get several thousand views on a review that I would put up. And then when I was streaming constantly and I do multiple streams a day, because I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play this game. I'm doing this for my audience. I'm having fun with it. And then it just started killing my channel. It started killing my growth. And I'm still paying for that now. It's been 4.5 months since I was streamed on YouTube. And I was like, I got to get away from it. So, I upload at least 2 or 3 times a week now. And I try to make sure it's a podcast and a review and whatever else. But yeah, I took the time off, focused on trying to build up my Twitch. I was dealing with, stuff going on in my family with like, my father-in-law had some health issues, and he's fairly old. So that was going on. And then one of my best friends, his mother passed away. Who I was very close with. So I was like not mentally there to be able to just focus on content. So I'm like, I'm just going to stream, try and take time off. I'm not going to, if I can review something, I will. And I let the companies I was working with know, like, I'm not in a really good place mentally. And it's like, not only sometimes do the audience not wait for you, but companies too. They're like, hey.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Company's like, oh, you're okay. Oh, you take the time you need. You know, you come back, let us know. But in the meantime, we're gonna go be working with this other person, and it's like you can't take that person. You can't. There's a part of me that did, and I'm like, I can't.
You can't. Like when I remember like watching on YouTube. I think it was Roberto Blake who was saying that around when you get 10,000 subs, that's when you start getting sponsorship offers and stuff like that. And I remember thinking, oh, well, if I get close to 10,000, I'll probably get sponsorship deals, right? So before I hit the 10,000, I would well, not really contact them, but sometimes I would slip, little things like, hey, it would be cool if you sponsored me, on social media. Never sent really an email, but stuff like that. And I never got a response. And then as soon as I hit 10,000, like companies started flooding. I did not realize how true it was, how this 10,000 is this magical number where, below it, no one cares. But 10,000 is like, that's advertisement potential. It's weird. So I remember some companies that I've been wanting to get sponsored by without even sending them emails too, because I was dumb. When they finally hit me up, I was like, oh, now you wanna, now you wanna sponsor me. Wow. I should say no. I couldn't afford to say no. So now that I think of it, I'm like, of course they would say no. I had like 5K subs, and I was like, hey, maybe you should know. Like it's business, they weren't they weren't gonna throw their money at a 5K sub, dude. So yeah, taking stuff personally in this. I know I did a couple of things out of pity. There's a couple of things, but like I practice a lot of restraint when it comes to social media and things that I say. Again, like the whole responsibility. I'm kind of paranoid when it comes to my responsibility as a creator. I never want to spread the wrong message, basically, or I never want to say something that gets twisted and then turns into the wrong message. So I'm very careful when it comes to what I tweet, when it comes to what I say. And even though I tweeted a couple of spicy things when it comes to like tech companies and stuff like that, I'm glad that I still have a place in there and I still get to work with companies. I even like sometimes I would complain about certain things and companies would actually listen, like would implement what I complained about, like in their next product.
Dude, it's so crazy when they do that.
And I need to name drop because it was so awesome. Like Fifine, a microphone company, just like any other microphone company, they try to make one mic that fits everything. They'll tell you it's great for podcasts, for Skype conversation, for voiceover acting, for gaming, and I'm like, it's good for all of that, but if I'm on a desk and I have my mechanical keyboard and I have my mouse where I'm trying to hit those 360 no scopes where I'm slapping my mouse against my table, your mic without a shock mount is not suitable for gaming because like all that vibration is gonna go straight up into the mic and it's gonna sound horrible as live streamers. So I made a whole thread even kind of mentioning other companies that would say it is for gaming and then the mic is just sitting on your desk. It's not. It's just straight up not. Maybe if you're playing a very calm game, if you're playing like Sims, which is also gaming, but most of the I feel like the majority, if we go like the top most watched games on Twitch right now, those are games where you're going heavy on your keyboard, So I remember I did this thread. I was pissed because there was a new mic that was announced that was like for streamers and it didn't have a shock mount. And then Fifine, they liked my post and I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit, I just made a whole thread trashing on mic companies and then a mic company liked my thread. I was like, oh shit, that's it. They'll never work with me ever again. And then I shit you not, dude, 2 weeks later, they're like, oh, the new Fifine live streamer edition and it's like a whole bundle with a scissor arm, so shock mount, plus the mic, and on top of that, as if they were doing it for me, you know, on top of that, the whole thing was like $50. And I was like,
Seriously?
damn.
That's cheap.
I was like, damn. and I commented on their Instagram. I was like, that's great. And they were like, oh, thank you for your input. And I was like, what? Did Fifine just listen to me? That's crazy. But then, like, you know, it was crazy to me. Well, it's still crazy to me, but then I started working with other companies, new up and coming like tech companies making products and stuff like that. And I realized there's a lot of them. Like, I'm working with Mauno. I'm saying I'm working. Full disclosure, I'm not getting paid by those companies at all. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not being paid. They just send, like, when they have new products, they send them to me. I test them. I tell them what's wrong, what's right, and stuff like that. And then they actually, right now, they're asking me for feedback. They just came out with like a whole podcasting system. And they're telling me if you have anything you would like to see improved. And I was like, shit, my opinion matters. That's
right.
Mind blowing, you know? Because my whole brand is honesty. And I'm always scared of, you know, speaking out. If I feel like a company is taking advantage of ignorance, or stuff like that, I'm always like, if I speak out, I'm probably like digging my own grave, you know? But in this case, they're telling me, hey, tell us what's wrong with our stuff. Tell us so we can implement it, and I can help those companies make better products for us, the consumer, you know, the customer. And I feel like that's amazing. That's amazing. But it's weird. Like, my latest rent, for example, was, and I felt like a dick because, like, I did my rent in a video while I was reviewing their product. But again, they don't pay me to review those products, so I say whatever I want. And it was crap, I don't even remember what it was. But they had like this weird tech name, you know, it was the whatever 8888 XYZ stuff like that. And I was like, honestly, stop naming your stuff like that, because it doesn't help us, you know. It's kind of like you're trying to bury that stuff. You're trying to make it like the least memorable possible. How can we buy or even recommend your shit if we can't even remember what it's called? You know? The reason why people are and I mentioned Apple, you know, I'm really not an Apple fan. I currently own 0 Apple product. I had like a MacBook at some point. I sold it for like $50 because I just wanted to get rid of it. It's made a great. It was an amazing mouse pad, though. I'll give it that. So
Apple's like, we're not going to work with you.
I'm really, really not an Apple fan. Even though they do make amazing products, mostly like. There's 2 products that I feel like they deserve all the praise for right now. Is like the AirPods Pro and the iPad Pro, like the 12-inch. It's the technology is like, I'm like, okay, well, they're good. So I was like, I'm not a fan of Apple, but if there's one thing that we can take from them and their marketing genius, it's the naming of stuff. Yeah. You see, like how I just talked to you about the AirPods Pro and then the iPad, and you remember that shit. You know, like if I the mic I'm using right now is from Toner, and it's called it's like the brand is Toner, and this model is the TC777. Like, what the fuck, you know? Like, and it's a good mic. You know, it's a very cheap mic, but it's a good mic, and there are so many names that you can. I feel like I'm an idiot, and maybe there's like restrictions, but why don't they apply it to Apple? You know, did Apple have like they copyrighted like words and vowels and syllables? I don't know. It's weird. It's like iPad, iPhone, iPod. It's memorable. It's 4 letters. It's clean. It's you can pronounce it in pretty much any language. You know, it's. There's so many colors. There's so many freaking elements. There's so many materials. There's so many fruits. There's vegetables. There's so many things you could fucking choose from. It's weird for me that they keep going like with the X, Y, Z, 3 and a bunch of numbers. I don't care about the actual model you made in the factory or how many reiteration of design. That's your problem. I'm the consumer. Give me the freaking blue cherry, which is blue cherry. What is that? That's a keyboard, right?
Keyboard.
See
Yeah.
how it works? Now, like those random words, blue cherry, boom, keyboard. It's in my head, you know. But if I'm not gonna put TC777 in a conversation that it doesn't fit, you know. So that's my rent right now. I'm glad that I've been working with Mauno. They came out this, you know, podcaster system, and they called it the Mauno Caster, and I'm like, yes.
Yes. It's just
Clean.
so simple.
Clean. Plus, you remember the brand because it's in the name, and then podcaster. It's clean. It's clean.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my current rent with companies right now. If all the companies that I'm working with could implement that, I would feel like I've changed something for the better. But I don't know, because like Sony is doing that shit too. You know, Sony, Philips, they're all doing that stuff, and then they're wondering, oh, why is Apple so big? Like. Starts with the little things, you know, the naming of your shit. It's crazy.
No, like even with so this platform I'm using right now for podcasting, so StreamYards, it's crazy because they've added a bunch of features that I was one of the first podcasters they've ever had on using the platform, because I was using the platform back when. Actually, the reason I even heard of them, they reached out to me not long after the last time we did our podcast, and they're like, "Hey, you know, we see you like to do the dual side by side layout, or you like to do the alternating. You know, we'd love it if you use our service." And I'd never heard of them, and no one I knew heard of them. So I was like, "Okay, cool." So I started trying it out, and then it's like, okay, so you can stream. At one point, you can only stream to one platform. I'm like, hey, what if I could stream to multiple platforms? Do I need like a custom RMTP for that? And they're like, oh, we'll work on it. We'll get back to you. So now you can stream to multiple platforms, like I believe 2 to 3 at max, and they handle everything on their end. So there's no stressor on your network connection. And then they allow you to put like custom overlays like this, which is something like before they didn't do. And I was like, hey, you know, I got my own style. I want to make sure that that's there. Boom. They started doing that. And then there's another feature. I'll do this when we go offline, but I can throw in my intro. I can throw in commercials. I can throw in my outro, which is something when I had them on my podcast, I told them like, this is stuff I need because it would make my whole workflow a lot simpler. Boom. Yeah. It's here. I was like, okay.
We're listening.
Yeah. So
listen.
Is mind blowing when companies actually do that. And it's like, oh, what I say does matter. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It's funny that because I heard about StreamYard on Monday because I was doing another podcast, and the host was like, oh, we can do StreamYard or we can do like Zoom. I told him, oh, let's do Zoom, because I had never heard of StreamYard before. But then, like, while we're doing the podcast or after the podcast, I think he kind of sold it to me. He told me, dude, StreamYard, you can do this, you can do that. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. How did I never hear about that thing before? It's cool. That's dope.
Yeah, it's crazy how like they've got different plans. So you got your free, you got the 20 bucks a month, $24 a month for, you know, if you want to do a basic customization, and they got the pro level. The only thing I've been telling them and StreamYards, I know y'all watch my stuff, you might want to lower your prices. Just, you know, bring them on down, lasso them on down. We're in a little bit of a pandemic right now. People's money is a little tight, so bring it down. And it would be the perfect option, because especially for streamers, I mean, even the cool thing too, I've even learned is like you can do a stream, and there's an option here, like where you can do a screen share. Like, so if you got OBS open or XSplit or whatever, you can even just pop that up in here and have your own custom layout, and it's still not pulling resources from your computer. And it's just, it's mind blowing.
I need to try that. I need to try that because I've been wanting to do, not necessarily I don't know why I don't want to call it a podcast, but like I want to do like something. But my issue is I want to be able to record it. I want to do something like that, but I want to be able to record it and maybe like put it up somewhere or maybe edit it or something like that. But right now with like Discord did not work for me. Zoom is kind of clunky.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely give StreamYard a try.
Yeah. Discord, I don't know how a lot of people do Discord for like their when they're doing their recordings and podcasts, because it's very cumbersome setting that up. At least for me,
if you want to make it like look good and stuff like that, it's it can be. It's simple, basically. It's so simple that if you want to make it your own, there's a little bit of a struggle. To be fair, like I would just capture the two people and then work my magic on my editing software. Discord itself, like, you know, there's panels that you can't, you're either full screen or you get the full UI. You can't hide some things or whatever. So
yeah. So one of the things I wanted to bring up, which has kind of been interesting. So like I said earlier, like I switched from YouTube to Twitch. So I've been on Twitch for about 4 months, and I'm seeing like I'm not hitting, like when it comes to viewership, I'm not hitting the numbers I had on YouTube, because a lot of my audience, and this is where I mentioned before about, like, you know, the little whole messiness, right? So I have a lot of my audience did not want to come over from YouTube to Twitch, because they're like, oh, I don't want to deal with Twitch thoughts and this and this and this. I'm like, but if you're coming to watch me, how, you know?
It's I think it's hard to get people to move. To get viewers to move, you know, getting streamers to move is just a matter of how much, but getting viewers to move is the hardest thing. It's funny because I forgot to comment on what you were saying about the live streaming and YouTube and stuff like that. My last live stream on YouTube, I think, was probably like 5 months ago. And I did one final live stream. I didn't know it was a final live stream before doing it. I did it, and I use Streamlabs OBS to live stream. And there was like YouTube Studio and the new system where you can create an event, and I was like, they broke it. Like they messed it up. And like if you're using Streamlabs OBS, you can already create an event within Streamlabs OBS, which is great. But it's a new event. You can't put a custom thumbnail straight into Streamlabs. You know, and I need custom thumbnails. You can't put tags. All you can do is create a new event with a title and a description, and boom, you're live. And then the server started bugging out. My stream, it didn't freeze. It started looping itself. So I would like talk for 30 seconds and it would go back. Talk for 30 seconds. And then it took me like a good 30 minutes to realize that. So I had to go back on my stream and be like, what do you mean I'm saying the same stuff? And I realized, wow, okay, my stuff is looping. It was a disaster. Another thing that happened is that like I didn't stream for a while before that, and I had this growth with the pandemic and stuff like that. And I didn't realize how big the channel got, basically how many people would show up and how many people, you know, would not be used to me streaming. And my chat was completely different than usual. My chat was like super toxic. My chat was like horrible. I had random people popping in. I guess the algorithm was in my favor. It was probably pushing my stream to everyone. So I was getting like the most random people. And yeah, all that combined, I was like, I think this is my very last live stream on YouTube. And I hadn't streamed on YouTube ever since. But it did like the whole tanking the channel stuff. It did that to me too. Every time I live stream, for the next week that followed the live stream, my numbers would just plummet. It was horrible. It's like, I don't know what's wrong with the algorithm. It's like if you stream, you need to get like super high numbers immediately, or if you get less viewers than you get on like the views that you get on your videos, it's gonna stop suggesting your videos or something. I don't know. It horrible stats every time I live stream. So I decided to just stop. I have Twitch. I'm doing well on Twitch.
I've had my audience, like when I was like consistently streaming on YouTube, like they would tell me, they're like, oh, they don't get a notification that I'm about to stream, or they don't get a notification for any new video I put up. So and I think it goes back to what you said, like you have to immediately hit those regular numbers like off the top with viewership. Otherwise, YouTube is just not going to push it. So this is why I guess I understand why some people have like a regular channel on YouTube and then a streaming channel on YouTube. But my thing is, and something that I'm noticing, and my wife is noticing it too, because she ended up leaving YouTube as well. Because dude, it killed her channel. Her channel on YouTube was growing. She was growing, like, because she would do like tech unboxing and reviews of stuff, because she works more with Razer and Technisport than I do. Like I don't work with Technisport. I kind of work with Razer, but she would get like thousands upon thousands of views, 10,000 views here, 20,000 views here on her videos, and then she started streaming on YouTube, and it just killed her channel. Like she got to like 6,000 subs, and she was like getting several like 50 to 60 subs a day, and then it just killed it. And so she's like, all right, well, I need to move over to another platform. So she went to Twitch, and I was projecting to hit 12,000. It killed my channel. So I was like, okay, I'm done with it. And it's crazy. Like it really is. It's like it punishes you for that. And so like in moving to Twitch, I decided, okay, on Twitch, I'm going to do things differently, because before, and this is kind of one of the things that was leading to my burnout as a creator as well, 'cause on top of everything else that's going on, is on YouTube, I would do 2 streams every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday. I know it's crazy. I'm sounding like a madman. I'm doing 2 streams a day, and I'm streaming multiple games. And it got to a point that I didn't have time to work on videos. I didn't have time to do anything other than stream. I was catering hella hard to my audience at the time. I don't really have the same audience now, but I would have other YouTubers I know would come into my streams just to self-promote themselves. So they're like, oh yeah, I'm just hanging out until I stream. Then they're like, oh yeah, I'm about to go and stream now. And then half my audience would disappear because they want to go watch. They'd want to go watch him. So so like that shit was happening. And then I just got to a point where I'm like, yo, I'm catering so hard and I'm just not happy. So when I went to Twitch, right around the time I switched to Twitch, Square Enix had reached out to me because I had interviewed one of their people. They're like, hey, we heard that, you like Final Fantasy 14 and would you like streaming it full time? And I'm over here like, yeah, because for me it's therapeutic. It's just I'm just playing an MMO. I like MMOs. Yeah, I understand. Like I may not be able to reach a high demographic. They're like, oh no, we'll push you. So I probably wasn't supposed to say that anyway. Whatever. but so I switched to streaming primarily Final Fantasy 14 for the last 4 months. And for me, I'm doing the story, doing the side quests. I'll play with viewers. So I lost a chunk of my old audience because they're like, wanted me to play the AAA games. Like, they wanted me to play
Yeah.
whatever's trending, and I'm like, yeah, I want to play this because I've already got to review these games, and this is my break from having to do that. So I'm streaming Final Fantasy, and I'm pulling in a large swath of that audience. Like that audience is coming in, they're supporting, they're subbing, donating. You know, they're there. My old audience, not all of them, because a lot of them are cool with it. They don't have an issue with it. But a lot of my old audience got really upset that I was streaming that. They're like, I don't want to be like, I had this one dude send me a Discord message. Dude, he wrote a fucking autobiography about I'm over here like, I'm like, whoa, let me scroll up.
Damn.
I'm like, okay, no shit, he's still ready. You know, they got the little dots going.
Oh,
Dude, in 1 week, I literally got multiple people from my old community just sending me messages about how they're upset that I'm streaming this, how they don't want to be part of a Final Fantasy 14 community. I'm like, but I thought you were here for me, not so much as what I'm playing. So that's one of the things that I've kind of run into with the trend. Like I'm I understand, like, an audience is a revolving door. You're never going to keep the same people all the time, but
facts.
Man, it's so crazy because people, I feel like I lost my point, but I'm going to keep speaking.
Yeah.
You know, people, it's so crazy how some people think that they can dictate what you do as a creator. They're like, I'm going to tell you what to play. I'm going to tell you what you should be doing, what I want you to cover. And if you don't do it, I'm going to stop supporting you. Like, I lost at least $70 in patrons because of that. I'm like, I thought you were a patron for my other stuff. I got up to about 30 subs, and then I had this exodus of folks because I was streaming that. So now I'm down to, I think, 16 or 17. I'm building back up, but it's crazy how, because I decided to play a game for me, how people have taken offense to that. And then when they're like, oh, all you do is play Final Fantasy. When I decided to play something else, like I play Resident Evil, or I play, you know, Fall Guys, or whatever was trending that they want me to play, none of them would show up.
I knew it. That's a big classic. That's listening to your audience. I've been telling people for the past couple of weeks. I've been repeating that. I've been like, one advice is don't listen to your audience, because you know that's another video idea too. Is things that you think make sense, but then you try them and they don't go well at all.
No.
You know, you're like, oh, I'm gonna just scroll down on my comments, and if someone says, hey, do this, I'm gonna do that, because if that person is saying do this, that means there's a demand. It doesn't work like that. Listening to your audience and doing exactly what you're demanded to do will kill your career. Like your whole. It's never. This is gonna sound horrible, but people who follow me like on Twitch, they know this about me. Running polls, for example, as a content creator, being like, hey, tonight, which game do you guys want to see? If you do this as a content creator, if you do it as a bait for engagement so that your Twitter stats go up, that's smart.
Yeah.
But if you genuinely are going to listen to people who are going to click vote on your Twitter poll who are not going to show up, then you're setting yourself up basically for failure. Because people can't help themselves. They will vote on any poll, even though they have no intention on showing up, no matter what game it is. And then there's the whole like creative polls or creative questions. Like, I want to get a new emote. Which one do you think? Do you guys think I should get? Those are not questions to ask the viewer. You're the content creator. You will analyze your content. You will analyze your community, and then you will come up with what type of emote would fit your exact niche, your exact personality, the exact flow of what happens often on your stream. because people will be like, hey, I like chicken nuggets, get a chicken nugget emote. And then you're gonna be like, oh, I like chicken nugget too. And then you have a chicken nugget. And then the the term chicken nugget never comes up in any conversation. And then you have you paid an artist to make an emote that is never used, you know? So don't rely on your viewership basically to come up with the creative part of content creator. Don't ask them that stuff. Some of them will give you good ideas, but that's rare. That's really, 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 really rare. So my community knows that when I run polls, if it's like a poll that has to do with my content, they know it's an engagement post. And sometimes I just straight up be like, hey, engagement post, vote. And I'm like, blue, red, spoon. And then people just click. People can't help themselves. They have to click on. I mean, me included. If I see a poll, I'm voting, So if I want to get engagement, I'll be like, hey, this is an engagement. Just do your thing, But I won't be like, what's your favorite color? I don't care what your favorite color is, So yeah, it's like those little content creator tricks.
Yeah.
But I've seen people being genuine with those questions, people actually caring, like my chat is going to tell me which emote I should get. And they will come up with a great idea. Like they're not streamers, they don't have all the data that you're supposed to have. They don't have the experience that you're supposed to have. They'll tell you something that will sound great and then you implement it and you realize it's garbage. It's not their fault. You shouldn't put them in that position to begin with. You don't go to the dentist and tell the dentist how to fix your teeth. You trust the dentist. Imagine if the dentist was like, so how do I use this on you? You'd be like, well, hey, what the?
I'd be like, yo, I'm out.
Are you a real dentist? What the heck is going on? So yeah, as the content creator, your job is to do the creative part and then make sure that they're pleased. Because as a consumer, or just as a straight up human being, we don't know precisely. We couldn't like, yourself right now, know what you like, what you dislike. And again, you don't know all of it, right? You still have to actually live through shit and be like, oh, I didn't know I was going to react like that to it. Oh, I thought I would love this, but I actually hate it. So, and we can definitely like put into words what affects our decisions or our taste, because we're never, no one asks us that. If you're like, I like pizza, and people are like, but why? You don't get that question. And you're like, I like cheese. Yeah, but why pizza? And then you have to write a whole paragraph on why exactly you like pizza and why the salt and the pepperoni really feels good and stuff. That you don't do that. But someone who's making a pizza needs to know that stuff. And in a sense, that person making that product in a sense knows it. That person doesn't know more about you than yourself, but they have the data. Basically, they have it. Facebook, for example, Facebook knows more about you than you can put into words. Straight up. A huge misconception right now is well, since forever, is that our devices are spying on us. They're not. Straight up, they're not. We put information in our devices, and then before using the app, you click agree, and that's a contract that tells you we're gonna use that information. You gave your information, basically, right? But the weird thing that seems so illegal and seems so perfect, and it's the perfect conspiracy theory, is that, oh, my Amazon Echo is listening to me. My phone is listening to me. I was talking about this product the other day, and then I got advertisement for it. The truth is, they don't need to listen to you. The truth is, they can predict. They have algorithms that can predict what product you're gonna want to buy in the future. It's things that you don't know that about yourself. I bought like those mini swamp coolers, like mini air fresheners or what air fresher cooler, whatever. Mini, supposed to be an AC, but it's not really an AC. I bought this thing because we were hitting like record numbers of a heat wave here in France, right? And I was talking to a friend. I was like, I need to get an AC or
Is that hot there?
oh, it got like, we got to like 42 degrees like Celsius. So it was, but for 2 weeks, and then it started like, as soon as I bought that stuff, like the temperature dropped again. Like, okay, it's decoration now. But I talked about it before I even typed anything. But I'm a guy who buys tech all the time. I'm literally on Amazon every single day looking at stuff that I could potentially need that I don't need, So Heat Wave plus Tech Guy sell them all sorts of freaking coolers, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't need to listen to me. Like, they definitely did not need. Just like your advertisement on Facebook for like Domino's Pizza, they're gonna show you that advertisement when you come back home from work, like a specific time that you're gonna be hungry, or at noon when you're on your work break. They know when to do that. They know you more than you know yourself. They don't need to spy on you. You give them all the information already. Stuff that you type, pretty much 100% that is being monitored, and you agreed to that. People were like, I don't want to buy an Amazon Echo because I don't want her to listen to me. But people use, Gmail. Isn't Gmail like where the important stuff goes? Rather than you talking talking about drama with your friends in front of your Echo. Like, Gmail has your bank sends you email, but that doesn't scare you though. It's weird. So yeah, that's the advice. Don't listen to your don't listen to the viewer. Don't put the viewer in a place where they can dictate what content comes out, because they don't really know, and it's not their place to know.
Yeah,
that's your job.
Yeah, and it's something because like when I did a stream, I want to say a month ago, and I ended up saying on the stream, because a large portion of that audience that really, for whatever reason, hates I was streaming that game, they're like, are you gonna play anything else? And I just straight up said it. I said, look, I've catered so heavily to you guys, and it burnt me out. I said, I'm not blaming you, but when I'm streaming twice a day from 9 a.m. to midnight 5 times a week, I'm like, I feel like I'm working. I feel like I can't do anything outside of it, and especially when I'm playing games you guys are recommending, and then you're not showing up for it. But when someone pops in my chat saying, oh, I'm about to go live, you'll go watch, you'll sit through his stuff. I'm like, I can't do that. So I'd rather just play a game for like that I enjoy for 3, 4, 5 hours and still be able to go and do everything else that I want to do. To be, I don't want to. So I don't want to be miserable. And I said, and catering has made me really miserable. So that really pissed him off, saying, oh, you're blaming us. I'm like, no, I'm not blaming you, because it's on me that I was doing that. But I'm just saying I'm not going to do that anymore. And it's just crazy because like the guy, the main one who sent the autobiography with his signature, he said, it's funny because before he sent that, he showed up on one of my Sunday streams, and he was like, I just want to warn you that this is not a good decision for you to stream just this one game. I just want to warn you. And I'm like, is that a threat? Are you threatening me? He said, I'm just, you're going to lose a lot of support. Nobody wants to see someone play this game. I'm like, oh, you sure? Because I'm looking at the Twitch metrics. MMOs are kind of hot right now. So, oh no, it's interesting.
It's a good. I like that idea. I like that anecdote, because it really shows the difference between. It's like every it's kind of dumb when you think of it, but you feel it when you've tested a couple platforms. You feel that it's like you're switching countries, you know? It's like
Mhm.
there's a culture here, you know, that we act a certain way. There's a universal thing a way that we act with each other and stuff like that, you know? And it's diverse, right? Because you're gonna get
Mhm.
different trolls on this platform than you would get there. But the support system is amazingly different from platform to platform.
Mhm.
So that makes me think of, you know, people who are trying to do like restream and streaming on multiple. I'm talking like people who are just starting, who are like,
Mhm.
if I stream on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch at the same time, I will cover more ground. I don't want to be, what did they say? I don't want to be restricted to
Yeah.
just one source of like shut up, you know? like shut up. If you can't hold two viewers on one platform, what makes you think that you're gonna blow up by producing that one unwatchable content on all of them at once? You know? And it's hard to I mean it was hard at first to explain clearly, because I had someone
Mhm.
in my Discord, for example, who was just starting out, and I'll admit, like, people in my Discord kind of ganged up on him and being like, but on my behalf, because they know that I tell people don't do multi-stream, you know.
No,
So they
you
were all
shouldn't.
like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, and he was like, why? And no one could really come up with an answer. So I came in and I was like, there's a lot of reason. First of all, is that what you think you're gonna be doing, the smart move you think you're doing by restreaming, it's not gonna work. Straight up, it's not gonna work. Because you can't cater to multiple platform. It's kind of like trying to have one speech that
Mhm.
moves three different cultures at once. It's not gonna work.
No.
It's not gonna work. Imagine if you're preaching to three religions at once. You know, if you're gonna preach to like to a Catholic, you have to. There's specific words that you use that are not gonna have the same effect like on a Muslim. That's not gonna have the same effect
Mhm.
on someone else. So it's the same thing with the platform. You can't be that streamer that is amazing both on Twitch, both on YouTube, both on Facebook. Like it's just not gonna work. And I also told them about, you know, hitting affiliate and stuff like that. The platforms kind of restrict you. They can tell sometimes when you are restreaming. You know, when you're.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a myth, but apparently some platforms can tell if the signal is being split or whatever. I really don't know about that, so don't quote me on it. But I know that, you know, if you're advertising a competitor, because back when Mixer was a thing, every time I go to a Twitch channel and I see, oh, Mixer this, I was like, what are you doing? You know,
Yeah.
like, you're gonna have a Mixer panel while you're on Twitch, like, and then you're gonna throw your you're gonna throw your partnership application. Like, what do you think they're gonna do? You think they're gonna be like, oh yes, please welcome Mixer streamer? No, no. So many reasons why, but it's really that culture, and it's impossible to explain to someone, you know, because it's something that you feel. But when you're a part of it, the environment, like watching a stream on YouTube and watching a stream on Twitch, is two different
Way
worlds.
different. Yeah.
Two different worlds. And of course, you can grow on YouTube if you start streaming on YouTube. You can make a channel just for streaming on YouTube. You can blow up. You can also blow up on Twitch, but you can't be the exact same person on both. When I used to stream on YouTube, people were telling me, dude, why are you so different? You know, my Twitch viewers who would come to my YouTube and be like, oh, you're streaming on YouTube now, why are you acting so differently? Because I was like, because I don't have the same community here. This is not Twitch. I can't be going around saying Kappa and PogChamp, and you know, it's not the same thing. It's really not the same thing. So you have to adapt. You have to feel it. So, but it's also like, you know, you really need to be a part of it to know what the culture is like, and what makes it what it is. There's nothing worse than you know, a Twitch streamer moving platform, and then you go watch them on that other platform, and they're still, you know, they're still putting out that Twitch stream, And then people on Facebook are like, what is going on here? It doesn't work like that. We don't have the same. But you will feel groups. You mentioned like how Final Fantasy, people from Twitch, like they greeted you. There's this whole, if you stream games like Final Fantasy, Dark Souls, there's a lot of games where there's like a group of people who are there on Twitch watching those games, who love the games. There's speedrunners. There's this love for the game that is very spread, and that's one of the great things on Twitch. Whereas YouTube, it's hard to. There's so many people on YouTube, and YouTube is so scattered. People find you through the algorithm, that it's impossible for this specific group to form and really migrate and go watch every single streamer and stuff like that. It's just impossible. So YouTube is more random. So the community you build on YouTube is harder to control, for example. Right? You can't build a specific community on YouTube. It's like the algorithm pushed you, it brought you 5 people. You got to welcome them, you got to set some boundaries, but you can't control them. Whereas on Twitch, you can specifically handpick who is part of your viewership, who is your regulars, and then you build a community that really represents you. It's something that I wish I could really put into detailed words, because I feel like companies should understand that, streamers should understand that, but viewers should also understand that. It would be very beneficial if you could put in word what the Twitch culture is like, what the YouTube culture is like, and all the outliers and all the exceptions and all, but you just can't do it. It's a feeling.
And one thing, like the whole difference between like streaming on YouTube and streaming on Twitch, and you've probably seen it too. People, when they go to Twitch, they're going there to watch a stream. When people are on YouTube, it's like the attention span is literally a few minutes. I see, and I like to label the people the hi bye. They'll be there. Hey, how's it going, guys? Hey, how's everyone doing? Hey, notice me. All right, okay, I'm gonna go. Bye. And I see that all the time. And before, I used to be like, man, who is this motherfucker coming in here? Like, are you not entertained? I used to be like that, but then now I'm kind of like, hey, and it's crazy because I'll occasionally get that on Twitch, and I can spot it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Oh yeah, hey, how's it going? And then I'll keep going on about what I'm doing, or wherever I am in the story. If I'm doing Final Fantasy, if I'm doing a quest, like, because I can play with my audience who are also playing it. So I do that, and then I'll have the people like, oh, okay, what's going on? Oh, hey, how's it going? And then 5 minutes later, they're gone.
Yeah.
I should start calling them the quickie. Because, like, 5 minutes, boom, boom, they're done. But it's like, I can notice that too. And it's like, I don't take offense to it. And like you were saying about being one way on Twitch and one way on YouTube, like when I'm playing Final Fantasy or I'm streaming on Twitch, I'm a little wild. Like I'm not how I am on podcasts or how I carry myself on YouTube or on Twitch. Not Twitch, Twitter or social media. I'm a little wild, I'll swear here and there. I'll throw out my comedy and whatnot. But when I'm on YouTube, I'm not like that. And I've had some people be like, oh man, you need to do this on here. And I'm like, no, it's not the same. It's not the same audience. It's really not. And
definitely not. Yeah, especially when it comes to being free. Like the Twitch really gives you that sense of, I don't know what it is with Twitch, because I make tutorials, so I'm kind of like, I try to be fun in my tutorials, but I know that I'm not gonna start making a bit in the middle of you trying to learn how to add Nightbot to your stream. Like that would piss you off, right?
Yeah.
Whereas on Twitch, I can just do whatever, and I love that so much with Twitch, because people are here for that. They're really here for that. They're not gonna just on YouTube, like while they're watching your live stream, YouTube is like, hey, video suggestions. You could watch this. You want to binge watch Gordon Ramsay yell at people? You can do that, Of course, they're not going to be staying. They're on YouTube. They could be watching so many things. So it's harder. But like Twitch is like, what are you going to do? You're going to watch another streamer for hours? Might as well stay here.
Very true. Very true. Oh, man. It's okay. So how much more time you got? Because I got one last thing I want to touch on. If you got time. If you got time.
Go ahead.
I swear, like every time we do this, man, I feel like I just lose track of time. So one of the things I think is really important. I know we touched on this on the last time. I want to touch on it again, is how imperative is it to use social media, like if you're a Twitch streamer, to grow your audience? Because I feel like a lot of people still don't get that, and that's with my mind.
That's the gaming and streaming community. I can't do a podcast without shitting on them. It's weird. Because on Monday I was saying that too. I'm gonna be known as the guy who keeps shitting on the community, but it's true. Like we're far behind. Like gaming, and streaming, we are so far behind when it comes to being content creators on the internet. We're like cavemen. Like straight up, we're cavemen. We think companies do things out of the kindness of their hearts. We like if we're talking about Twitch, we like apparently the community has a problem with women and minorities and LGBTQ people. It's crazy, but we like this is we need to talk about it. It's not necessarily a majority, even though sometimes it really feels like it.
Yeah,
but I feel like the best advice I could give, instead of saying that social media is really important to grow your Twitch channel, what I can say is that there shouldn't be, like today, for example, in 2020, being a live streamer is not just being a live streamer. You can, but your chances of doing this professionally or full time, as so many people say they want to do, your chances of doing that are so slim if you don't go all in. Basically, you can't. So I'm exaggerating, but you can't be just a live streamer. You have to go all in and be a content creator. And a content creator is present everywhere and is making content for everything and is active everywhere and has a presence and has sometimes a whole different community in other social media platforms than their main stuff, but that still helps. Those numbers and those people, the actual community, they still help push towards your main platform. I sell stuff on Gumroad. Doing tutorials helps me push Gumroad. I do stream review. Since I do YouTube and I do tutorials, people trust me as a source of information. They'll show up to my Twitch. And then from my Twitch, I can be like, hey, you see those things that I'm using or whatever, that's a DIY. That's handmade. I shared the process on my Instagram story. So everything fuels everything. And I go, hey, if I'm doing a giveaway, I'm probably going to announce it on Twitter. So follow me there. It's not just important. I feel like it's just crucial that and don't get me wrong, I'm really talking about the whole full-time stuff. I'm talking about the professional, because I know the hobbyist. There's always one hobbyist who's watching a video where you're literally being like, how to treat your Twitch channel like a business, and then they're like, yeah, but I just want to play games. And like, what the fuck are you watching my video for? Like, just do your hobby. You think it's fun? Just freaking do it. Why are you fucking commenting on my video for it? You have every right to do it as a hobby, just as a hobby. You just want to play Black Ops with your friend, just freaking play Black Ops with your friends, But don't go in a forum where people are trying to make money playing Black Ops with their friends and tell them, I just want to play with my friends. Who's keeping you from it? Weirdly enough, you you enjoy playing Black Ops with your friends so much that you feel bad that you only have 3 viewers. I don't think you enjoy it that much. You're actually looking for fame and money. Just admit that,
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's like there's this resistance when it comes to it. I want to do Twitch full time. I don't want to take a picture of myself. It's like no, I'm fine. I have a webcam on stream, but taking a selfie, nah. Are you trying to be a personality or what? Like, what's going on? Like, do you think you're just gonna be famous and then at some point paparazzis are gonna post pictures? You got to do that stuff on your own at first.
Yeah.
You got to be active. And it's weird because their favorite, the people they look up to, they have that shit on lock.
Mm-hmm.
They have that shit on lock when it comes to like branding and color schemes and stuff like that. They have the social media. The Ninja has a TikTok account. Ninja posts actual, depending on your humor, but he tries to post comedy on TikTok, because that's what works. That's what's shared the most. Ninja has like two main colors, blue and yellow, in his color scheme. His whole setup is gonna look blue and yellow. He's not gonna put in some pink out of nowhere because he has a color scheme to follow. And when I try to tell people that, I'm met with so much resistance from that. I had this guy who has this teal, whole graphic design is teal, logo is teal, overlays are teal, and then he has an RGB projector like the one I have now, and it's like red, and I'm like, where's the red coming from, dude? Like, we see all that teal, and then boom, we're confronted with red, and he goes, yeah, I don't want to overdo it.
What?
Coca-Cola took Santa Claus and they were like, bitch, you're our color now. Fuck that green shit. We're Coca-Cola. We own Santa Claus right now. Christmas, us. You can't think of Christmas. You can't even if you want to make bears without thinking of Coca-Cola now. That's branding.
You can't even think of McDonald's without Coca-Cola.
You can't overdo it. Yeah, you just can't overdo it. Like, you have to push it as far as you can. But again, the gaming streaming community, we're so far behind that implementing those things that makeup content creators, freaking not safe for work content creators, they mastered that stuff because they've been doing it for a long time, for like the past 5 years, 10 years max since YouTube. Not even in the beginning of YouTube, because like actual influencers and stuff like that came like at least 5 to 6, 7 years after YouTube was a thing. Because YouTube before was just webcam, it was all about authenticity. But we switched from that a while ago, and now the makeup community, they're working with big makeup companies. They're coming out with their own palettes. They're coming up with their own actual products. They're appearing on billboards and stuff like that, and gamers, well, we're being paid $5 and appearing in Burger King commercials, like that's where we're at. That's such a like I was so mad, but it's kind of like Burger King telling us that's where we're at. That's what we represent to their eyes, and it's true. We're just cheap freaking we're just cheap beggars on the internet. That's what we're considered as. Like if it was like I keep bringing up the makeup, but like they're a good example of a community that advanced. Like they went from, hey, here's how to do your eyeliner, to I'm coming out with my own makeup palette. It's such an accomplished industry, basically. But there's much more. Like there's tech YouTubers, like if you see people like Unbox Therapy, like Linus Tech Tips, that's big. Those are big. They're making actually big moves. We have a couple of streamers that make big moves, but the truth is, when it comes to streaming, the real big moves are being made by companies, not by us. We ain't worth shit. It's like Overwatch League is making big move. Blizzard is making big move, but it's not a single streamer, and that's why I don't watch Ninja. I don't think I've ever watched Ninja, but I keep mentioning him because when it comes to making moves, there isn't a lot like there isn't a lot of streamers like him who made, who made it to a, what was it, a Nike commercial or whatever, Super Bowl, freaking Tim the Tatman and
Mhm.
Pokimane. Those are, no one is doing that, and that's important because that brings us value. If more of us were doing that, Burger King would Burger King would be scared of doing that campaign that they did, but they don't have any reason to be scared. We're just people who are happy to get $5. And so yeah, to answer the question, like social media, even if you don't like it, because I know there's mostly resistance when it comes to like Instagram, for example, the whole being self-centered and taking pictures of yourself and stuff like that. People resist that a lot, but it's with the times. It's 2020. You
Yeah.
got to be able. Your grandma can take a selfie. Your dad is taking a selfie. You should be able to take a freaking selfie. And they come up with all the excuses like, yeah, what if I'm ugly or what? It's not about. It's really not a beauty contest. Whoever
Yeah.
tells you that it's a beauty contest, that if you're beautiful you'll make, bullshit. Pretty much bullshit. Of course, if you're pretty, you might get more clicks,
Yeah.
but the engagement is all up to you. And you don't have to be as pretty as you think you need to be in order to be approachable. There's like some of my favorite people on my Instagram feed, trust me, are not the prettiest. Straight
Mhm.
up, are not the prettiest. It's just people that, oh, I watch this person's content. This person makes me laugh. I follow them on multiple social media, so I feel like there's a certain bond with them, and my brain just associates this good feeling with them. So every time I see a selfie of them smiling on my Instagram feed, I'm automatically happy. They've made my day better by posting a goddamn selfie, and it's hard to convey that message. It's so hard to convey that message. Now, I talked a lot about Instagram, but like Twitter is the same thing.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What are other things that you find funny? But try to stick to the niche. But you can talk about other stuff too. I feel like there's this fear. There's a big fear. There's this. I would love to be a full-time content creator, but then you present like the minimum of things to do in order to assure that you do it well. And you see like they put, they build a wall in between it and them, and they're like, oh no, I'm not gonna take selfie because I'm fat, I'm ugly. And you're like, oh, that's all it takes to make you prevent yourself from accomplishing this. So do you really want it? Are you
Mhm.
just hoping that it's gonna miraculously overnight happen to you? A thing that we say a lot in the streaming community is that if the biggest streamer on Twitch rated you tonight, how would that change your life?
Mhm.
What would change? Would they show up and then realize that you're boring? You keep talking, you keep down talking yourself, etc. You're not interesting at all, and then they all leave. So you've gotten technically the biggest opportunity in the world, because the hardest thing to get is viewers, and someone brought a whole bag of them to you, but you couldn't keep them. I think Epos Vox was saying on Twitter that a lot of people are not ready for that fame that they're looking for. Basically, they couldn't handle it. So if it happened overnight, they would fold. I just want people to call out their own bullshit, because I used to be like that too. I used to be like, I'm a black man. Of course, I was self-conscious about things that made me not even try certain things. I was like, oh, I'm not even gonna try that. Oh, posting selfies on Instagram, I thought it was only hot chicks.
Mhm.
That's dumb. That's stupid. And now I post, like, when I post whatever I post on Instagram, I get a bunch of likes, I get a bunch of comments. People are telling me, hey, dude, we enjoy your stories. That's amazing, and stuff like that. And if I didn't try, I would have never known that. I would have still be in that, oh, hot chicks, top models, or whatever. I have I have a friend who's who's plus size, very, very plus size. And she used to be like depressed all the time and basically post very, like, it was very negative when it comes to her posts. It was always, it wasn't, there was nothing joyous about what she would post. It was only selfies from time to time, and she would like heavily edit her stuff. And I don't know what happened. And I wish I could take credit for what happened, but I had nothing to do with it. I don't know what the heck happened. One day she completely flipped and she was like, I'm gonna post a picture that's kind of, that's kind of spicy. Something that she would never do before. She didn't have any picture of her full body. She posted that. And then like she's very, very, she's fat, she's very, very fat. And she posted it, and I think like an Instagram page that posts about like plus size models reposted her stuff. And then she started getting support comments, like, oh, you're beautiful, oh, this is amazing, oh, that's a cool picture, I wish you could post more. And then she rolled with it. And I think she has like 25,000 followers on Instagram now, and she's making money with it. She's making a living out of it, and just like that, just in one day, one picture just changed everything. And and it wasn't an amazing picture. It wasn't from an amazing camera. It was just, I'm gonna post this because maybe someone likes this, And it's the same thing. It's the same analogy for everything else. You have to allow yourself to post certain things and call yourself out when your brain comes up with the excuse. Your brain is, you are wired to come up with those excuses. You are absolutely wired. Just like I was wired like that, when I was in my 9-to-5 jobs and stuff. Like I never thought, like, to me, it was impossible. I couldn't make it. Someone else can make it. My favorite YouTubers, they can do that. They're great. They're amazing. They deserve it. They can do it. I can't believe how they are. I can't do that. I can never have a monetized YouTube channel, let alone make a living out of it. And I was in 9-to-5 jobs, and I was like, I can't handle this. I'm depressed. I'm really not feeling well. There are more times where we're getting deep here.
Go for it.
There were more times.
We don't censor you here.
I straight up, I've thought about it, like, as a solution. I've considered suicide way more often than I considered quitting jobs.
Same here.
The more people I talk to, especially people who've had like 9-to-5 jobs, people who work retail and stuff like that, I've considered that as, well, I guess that's it, more than I'm gonna quit my job, I'm gonna find another better job, or I'm gonna learn more stuff. And all more times I was just like, yes, maybe sometime at the end of the month, I'm gonna just be done with it, and looking back at it now, I'm like, that's so stupid. I felt so, I felt like my back was against the wall. And I can only say that now because back then there was no doubt that I was trapped and there was no other solution. It was I either stay or I fucking die, because it was not normal for me to want to quit. In my head, I was like, if I quit, I'm a failure, basically. If I quit, what are my colleagues are gonna think? If I quit, like, how, depending on how I quit, like, how am I gonna get, am I gonna get unemployment? But also, like, am I gonna get hired again if they call the other job? And then, right now I talked about it with a friend that I've known for like 7 years, and we've known each other while we were working a 9-to-5 job. And only today, like only now, we get to talk about how we were feeling while we were there, because we never get to talk about that back then. And I told her I was straight up suicidal when I was working there. And that's one of the reasons I left. And she told me, same. She was like, same. But, we would show up to work, we would get the work done, and then we would go home, and then over and over again. And it's crazy that your brain, but it's not just your brain, it's not just your fault. It's a little bit of your fault, but it's how you're conditioned, That's why I say that your brain is wired to make you feel like, I can't take a selfie, I'm not a model. I'm going to go to that 9-to-5 job. I'm going to feel miserable, but that's what is expected of me. That's what I can accomplish, me and my humble beginnings and in my basic education and stuff like that. And I feel like that's also why people don't learn, people don't teach themselves anything, because they're like, I'm not gonna teach myself this or that, I'm not gonna teach myself how to code. I would have to go to school for that, and then there's relying on schools, relying on other people. For like a lot of the DMs that I get, I'm like, you sent me a DM and you're waiting for me to respond, but you could Google it and have an immediate response that is more reliable than what I can tell, because I'm just some dude. Also, I don't know you, so my answer might not apply to your situation. I might give you the worst advice ever because I'm not you, I feel like all of this is part of, how you're brought up and society again, society just builds you up to be like, education, which is only school can provide education. You can't, the internet, YouTube is for watching cat videos and Justin Bieber videos. You can't learn anything from, I've learned photography, I've learned video editing, I've learned VFX, I've learned so many things like Photoshop, all the like Adobe programs. I've learned robotics. I've learned how to code. I'm not good at it. Woodworking, all of that straight from the internet. I've never set foot in university or any like specific education system. I've done seminars on the internet, like business, marketing, all of that. Most of it is the same spot where you're watching the cat videos. So I'm not gonna be the guy who's like, there's no excuses. There are legit excuses, but there's always something that you can do. If you can fight, there's something you can do with the education that you have, and you can flip it around to make it work in your favor. And if your brain is fighting it, which is natural, you need to fight back. You need to not listen to your brain. And yeah, that's the message. Go no half measures, as Mike from Breaking Bad would say. No half measures. You're going in, you go all in, and then you get the job done. You want to be a live streamer full time? I better see your ass posting selfies on Instagram, telling me about whatever the fuck food you ate at which restaurant on your story. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know some funny joke you thought of. I want to see that on Twitter. I want to see you make content on YouTube that has to do with whatever you stream on Twitch. I want to see you come up with maybe product ideas. I want to see you participating. I want to see you like make sure that you are known in your niche, that it's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. I don't want to brag at this point, but if you're looking up tutorials on how to become a Twitch streamer, there's a little like the chances of you not finding me are very, very slim. Because I made sure that you would find me. Definitely, you would definitely find me, and which is kind of annoying because sometimes I'm doing research for future videos, and Google is like, "Here's that video from that guy," and it's me, and I'm like, "I want more information. I want more stuff. Stop showing me my own videos."
Well, I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna brag for you. So hey audience, hey, let me get close to you. So I'm gonna say this: if you need some of the best information on growing your branding, your Twitch, doing DIY stuff, I'm pointing the wrong direction. The man over here, yeah, go check out his YouTube channel. Links in the description. It's gonna pop up in one of the corners up here.
Yeah, man. No half measures. No half measures. If you're gonna go with it, and think outside the box. Think outside the, especially as a live streamer. As a YouTuber, you don't even have to think outside the box. But as a live streamer, the bar is super low. Again, that's me shitting on the Twitch community again. But the bar is low. You know, like if I tell you, imagine a Fortnite stream, you've imagined 99% of Fortnite streams. That's it, because they're all the same. Yeah. Everyone is doing the same thing. People are like, how do I stand out? By stop doing the fucking same thing. You know, stop imitating other Twitch streamers, right? To the point where the most basic stuff. You know, like I put TTS for my chat. People are like, oh my God, it's amazing. I'm like, what? I can't be the first person to think of that, you know? Just TTS chat. Like, TTS exists. Is there a way of getting TTS chat? You look it up on Google, found it in 5 seconds, implemented it. Everyone's like, oh my God, this is so fun. This is amazing. This is so creative. Oh, you're a genius. You're like, what? I didn't innovate anything. So like, that's where the bar is. Like you do something a little different and then boom, you're the genius of Twitch. The bar is so low. But unfortunately, everyone's like, I'm a pro player. I'm gonna be good at my game and everyone's gonna love me for it. That's not what entertainment is. No. That is not what entertainment is. That's sports, you know? And just like sports, if you're not gonna watch every college playing that sports because do you like sports?
It's been a while since I watched it. It's been a while.
Which one?
I used to be huge into baseball, and I've occasionally watched basketball or football if my friends were around. But baseball was my sport, just because I grew up playing it.
Now imagine if on TV there was every kindergarten where they're teaching them how to play baseball, they would broadcast it. Would you watch it? You might watch one because it might be funny. But you most likely, when you're watching baseball, you're watching, you know, popular teams, right? Yeah. You don't watch like random dudes. You're like, what's the name of that? Where they're from? No, you know who's playing, you know, just like football, you know, freaking Brazil is playing or Arsenal or Barcelona or whatever. You know, we know that. We don't know all the name of every single, you know, unknown team. And it's the same thing for Twitch. If you're going to make your content is going to be based off performance, most likely, you know, unless you play for Barcelona, we don't give a fuck about you. You know? No one's gonna watch you. So it's the same thing. But do you know who Dude Perfect is?
Yeah.
The YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Now, if you take sports and you put a little twist, you make it interesting. You put some flashy, you know, music and montage. But now all of a sudden that sport is interesting. Those guys are not playing for any team. They probably trash at the actual sport. But they made something a little interesting, and boom, you're flashy, you stand out, and now we care about you. That's my advice with Twitch. You know, the bar is low. Stop thinking you're great at whatever Smash. You're most likely you're trash. Make it interesting. Stop caring about I'm trying to get gold or silver, and no one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck. That's it.
No, I mean, I see that, like, you know, when I stream Final Fantasy, and I've looked when I'm looking for channels to raid, dude, it's the most amazing thing when I see people. They're just like, where's the controller? People are just like, I'm over here like, motherfucker, entertain me. I got people that wanna watch someone else, and it's like, because like when I'm playing, I just say random shit. I'm like, I can't trust that person over there. Look at that person, that little beady-eyed, bunny-eared character. Like, I say wild things because it's like, I'm just thinking like, yo, people come in and you know, and I say this all the time when it comes to like creating content on YouTube and whatnot and podcasting. The one thing you can never get back is time, because that's it. So when people come in and they're deciding to spend time to watch you, anyone can do this.
Yep.
I want to be entertained. So a lot of people think, oh, you're over the top. I'm like, no, you're seeing the best of my Polynesian and my black side coming together, and I'm just wild and uncouth. I'm just saying there's no filter. I'm like, holy shit, did that really, like, wow, that happened? Really? Did you see that? Like, I'm acting like they're in the room with me.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, it's wild because it seems like a lot of people can't do that. And no, and I'm not trying to shit on the Final Fantasy community because I love y'all, baby. I love y'all. I love y'all for the support y'all engagement. Some of y'all just it's sometimes hard to read because it's like there's no personality. And it's like when I'm scrolling through and I'm like, everyone's doing the same thing. Okay. Yep. That person doesn't talk to their chat. So and you know, maybe some people like that, but for me, if you're not gonna talk to me, motherfucker, I'm not gonna watch you.
Yeah. Rather go on YouTube and watch Gordon Ramsay yell at people.
Right.
At least I know he's not gonna answer if I type. Yeah. It's but that's where we're at. We're at this point where, you know, standing out is hard, and I it's something that I don't get. I don't get the whole standing out. Twitch is saturated. If only there was another. Is there another platform I should try? Like, this isn't the freaking Magic Bus. There isn't a platform you go there and then you become, oh, you came here. Welcome. We were waiting for you. No, your shit is trash on YouTube. On Twitch, it's gonna be trash on Facebook. Like, you might get more viewers because Facebook cheat their numbers like crazy, but as a whole, your value as a content creator will not increase at all. You're still the same guy doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's crazy. I have to explain to dudes like, and then of course, you know, there's this whole bashing of women constantly with Twitch. It's every day, every single day. And you know, and then there's this misconception of, oh, if you're a woman, you have it easier on Twitch. What? What? Like, oh no, it's easy. Just be, how to grow on Twitch, be a girl. I get those comments on my videos. First of all, statistically speaking, you have way more chances of making it big, and I'm talking huge, on Twitch if you're a man. Just statistically speaking. Yeah. Right? And like the statistics are like, so you really have a very, very high chance, because for 100 top Twitch streamers, there's like 5 chicks. Mm-hmm. Right? And the 5 chicks, like, they're really not doing the numbers that the top 1 or top 2 are doing, like, way far. We're talking like sometimes we're talking like 100 times, you know, that those top streamers are making. So there's that. And then, you know, people kind of came to an agreement that, in the beginning, women have more viewers and blah, blah. And you're like, well, kind of. But there's a reason for that. And it's not being pretty. It's not, you know, the makeup. It's not, you know, it's not boobs. Because Twitch seems to hate on boobs for some reason. It's from my experience, because like I'm not speaking, like I'm not talking out of my ass here. I'm talking from what I've seen, being in this community for like since 2014. That I created my Twitch, that I started streaming on Twitch, but also being an admin for a pretty large Twitch group for the past 3 years, and also doing stream reviews where, you know, people come in and I look at their streams. You know, the trend that I see, the pattern that I see is that, you know, when it comes to small streamers, women tend to be way more meticulous about their presentation. They care about their presentation. And I'm talking all around presentation. That means it's here, it's there, it's there, it's there, it's there, it's there, it's there, it's there. It's on the overlays, it's on the emotes, it's on clean. Color scheme, check, you know, perfect branding, check, transitions and all of that, like alerts, check. They really care about how they present themselves to you. And I'm like, when was the last time you saw the weatherman wearing, like, you know, wearing a jumpsuit, you know, wearing it? Yeah. No, they're wearing it, like, you know, they're wearing a 3-piece suit because that's their job. They're trying to, you know, impose a certain authority and a certain charisma, you know. And that's part of the job, and it makes you accept it. a bit better. The information, it makes you more captivated because the person, you're not looking at someone's, sweating and looking, physically. You're like, "Ugh, why is it red? Why is he red right now? Why is he sweating? He's red and he's and yeah, maybe that's it, and maybe they treat people kindly, and maybe they're very welcoming, and they care actually about. It's easier for them to get regulars because they actually care about work. I don't have that, I don't remember shit about anyone. Like I will ask people how old they are or where they're from in every single stream. The same people. I will every single stream. I'm like, where are you from again? I don't have that kind of memory, but it would help me if I had, because it would be easier for me to get regulars. But yeah, so that's kind of the phenomenon. But then, when they start growing and growing and growing, since, the gaming community is very male dominated, means there's more male viewers than there's female viewers, and male viewers tend to go, more towards other male streamers. Then, they hit the spot, they hit a plateau where they physically cannot get more viewers because there aren't that many viewers that are interested in that type of content.
Yeah.
But the dudes, though, if you do your presentation, you're good, you can, you're welcoming, you get regulars and stuff like that. That plateau, you don't care about it. You keep going and going and going, and you end up all the way there. But if you can't make it to that plateau, without people telling you to show your feet and shit like that, or asking about, hey, are you gonna make an OnlyFans, or people are gonna be like, are you a real gamer? What's the size of Mario's dick? See, like one of my best friends, Viking Trash, who's a woman, she gets confronted every day about like her knowledge of the game she's playing. She has Viking in her name. Dudes are like, "Are you a real Viking?" Like, when was the last time you saw a Viking, dude? Like, shut the fuck up. But she gets confronted with those people who are already like always doubting and always like trying to put her down and stuff like that. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like a just chatting streamer, The thing that I streamed the most on Twitch was just chatting or IRL. My internet connection is trash, so I don't play video games because, the games that I like to play look like trash on stream. No one has ever questioned me about being a gamer. No one ever told me you're not a real gamer. That never happened. People just go with it. Even though some of them never see me play any games at all. And I'm the dude, like right now I play Overwatch and Apex. That's it. I've been playing Overwatch since it came out. I've been playing Apex since it came out. I play a little bit of Fall Guys. But Call of Duty comes out, I'm sleeping. FIFA comes out, I'm sleeping. Freaking Fortnite, Valorant, CS:GO. I don't care about that. I don't like those games. Even other games that are more niche, like Skyrim, freaking League, and I don't care about those games at all. But no one in my whole life, no one has ever questioned if I'm a gamer or not. No one ever confronted me about it and be like, "Are you a gamer? I never see you playing games." Because I would be like, "Dude, I'm just chatting. Just I'm talking. That's it. That's it." But just because I'm a dude, okay, I'm a gamer. No one's gonna ask me for the size of Mario's dick. So no, it's not easy. And in fact, it's actually way harder.
Yeah.
And like being black, of course, we have to deal with the racism and stuff like that. But I'm sometimes I'm like, if I had to imagine like being imagine if I was a woman, how much harder it would be, or if I was like part of the LGBTQ plus community. On top of it, it's like, but no one is willing to acknowledge that. People are like, "Oh, you posted in groups." People are like, "Oh, you posted a picture. There's cleavage," and yeah, what? Just because you are not taking selfies because you're a dude and taking selfies is not for dude, doesn't mean that she's not doing it right. You're a content creator. People should be seeing your face everywhere with no exception. So she's doing content creation right. You are not, and you're shitting on her. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know? That's my main message. That's the main thing that I really want to push on the Twitch community is stop being fucking cavemen. It's time to understand what being a content creator is. If you could definitely learn a thing or two from these women. But first of all, clean your fucking room. Stop fucking sweating. You could use some powder on your face. It's true though. It's true. It's true. Learn how to take a proper, none of that. Oh, I'm in my car, boomer shit. It's, but it's weird because I do that. I take selfies. I had to learn how to take proper selfies, proper self-portrait. Well, I was a portrait photographer, so I had a little bit of knowledge on that. But I'm still, sometimes I'm like, I'm running out of picture and it's 3 a.m. I'm gonna set up my camera. I'm gonna pose, I'm gonna learn how to pose. I'm gonna go on Pinterest. I'm gonna look up, hey, pose for dudes, and then find a bunch of, and then try them and then pick out my pictures and stuff like that. But when I post them, no one is like, dude, what are you doing? No one says that. Everyone's like, dude, that's a dope picture.
Yeah.
And then when you tell them you should take pictures, they're like, oh, I'm not into that. You're like, what? It's weird. It's so weird. So it's natural for you to see it, but it's not natural for them to do it. You know what I mean? So like Ninja will post his TikToks. People will be like, oh, that's cringe or whatever. But he'll still rack up the views and the likes, and it works. You're supposed to be doing that. But no, instead, those, and of course, it's like, it's part of the small streamer, because most streamers are small streamers, It's part of that small streamer culture. They'll shit on it, they'll talk trash, they'll make drama out of nothing, and they'll stay small streamers, unfortunately. But I imagine a Twitch like where everyone is like, you have some of the most creative people doing amazing stuff. Like, it's live streaming. Yeah. You motherfuckers have like $5,000 PCs just to be like, like to look like your mom is forcing you to stream. And when they ask you, do you enjoy this game? Like, oh, it's my favorite game. And they're mad. I'm like, dude, I look happier when I'm taking a shit. What the fuck? Seriously. And they're like, how are we supposed to compete against boobs? Well, to be fair, like, boobs are just sacks of fat. And you being like that, it's not really hard to compete against you. I could straight up hold a sack of fat like that. It would still be more entertaining than your I could put a camera on my pet turtle. It would still be entertaining than you listening to loud rap music and mumbling. Oh, yo. Yo, you want to do it? Where we dropping, boys? Oh, Fortnite. Fucking hell. Anyways, it's getting spicy here.
yo, that was real talk though.
That's it. That's how I got canceled. The small streamer army is coming for me.
Hey, people like it when you keep it real until you are real with them. That's what I've come to notice. Dude, I've gotten so much shit from like small streamer and the hashtag small content creator, small YouTuber community, because like I'm over here like saying, stop saying you're small, stop using that hashtag, stop saying you're small creator, stop. Be like, I'm a content creator. Don't say I'm a YouTuber, because people have this mental, like, if you say like, oh, I'm a YouTuber, people write that off. You say you're a content creator, it's like there's a level of intrigue. What is that? You're a content creator. What do you create? Like it opens the conversation, opens the dialogue. And yeah, I get to like, oh yeah, you're just a hater. You're this, you're that. And I'm like, all right, well, whatever. Fine. Okay, I'm hating. Fine. Whatever.
It's also something I try to tell my viewers, is that some people don't want the advice. You're not supposed to go out there and go giving unsolicited advice is never a good thing. Don't don't go out of your way to tell people what they should be doing and stuff. Because some people pretend that they want something, but they're not willing to put in the work. And you telling them about the work that they need to put is going to offend them. Like, I get it. Just don't do that. Just don't do that. Someone's doing something wrong. You don't have to tell them. You can get familiar with them. And if one day they ask you for your freaking opinion, give it to them. But if not, just enjoy, just enjoy the stream. And if you don't enjoy it, just leave. You don't have to say anything.
Yep. True. All right, man. Anything else? Anything you want to leave the audience with before we go? I mean, you've been dropping gems. You over here like, here you go. There's some more. There's some more right there. There you go.
It's fun. I like being guest on podcasts because I kind of like I censor myself on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Or I try to give like a wholesome presentation on YouTube. On Twitch, I kind of be myself, but I don't go crazy. I don't curse on my Twitch, for example. That's mostly because I know I've had multiple evidence again and again that there are actual children watching me, and like I don't want to set a bad example. I don't want to tell people. I don't want people to feel like, oh, I need to talk like that, basically. Oh, talking like that is cool, or this is what. No. Talking like that, if you worked a 9-to-5 job and you've been depressed for a while, you can talk like me. But before then, you can't. Start paying bills and spend a couple months wondering if you're gonna be able to eat or pay rent. Then you can talk like me. But yeah. So when I go on podcasts, I kind of speak freely, and sometimes it can come as a certain shock for people. They're like, "Oh, I didn't know you were this nasty." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm nasty, but it's not my podcast, So yeah.
All right. And where can people find you?
Everywhere except Facebook. Fuck Facebook.
And that's the quote for the show.
On Google, YouTube, Instagram, freaking TikTok, yes. Instagram, Twitter. I deleted my Snapchat account. I'm not into Snapchat anymore.
Are you on Storyfire or Fire? What is that thing?
Yeah, Storyfire. I'm not. It's for edgy content creators. Like, it's people who get booed off for harassing people and are like, hey, we should make a platform where we can harass people freely without YouTube watching over us. I'm good. Well, I might change my opinion later on, But so far, the people that I see going there is not people I want to associate myself with. If that type of community is going to be prevalent there, I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yet. Okay. And the real question, the real final question is, did you have fun?
Oh yeah, that was fun. That was cool. That was cool. I dropped all the bombs. Now I feel relieved, because I can't say that on a YouTube video. I'm gonna get
yeah. All right, and links to, and for the audience, if you guys want to catch all of GAEL Level's content, his social media, and everything like that, except for Facebook, because that doesn't exist anymore. Either one of us. Links for all of that is going to be in the description of this podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be down in the description. If you're listening to it on any of the major platforms that we're on, which we're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher. And I'm not going to say all of it because y'all can look at it right there. Or if you're on, if you got the podcast, if you're listening to it, you already know. And if you're watching it, it's over here.
All over, okay.
So, with that being said, man, I definitely want to thank you for coming on again, because we need to make this more often. This is fun. We definitely and whenever the hell this pandemic clears up, you need to come out here to Hawaii. I told you last time. You got to stay.
I'll take you up on that offer.
You need someplace to stay. We got you. And that's the crazy thing. I'm starting to think, like, are we ever gonna have a normal again? And I don't know.
I don't know. Especially the United States.
Yeah.
You guys are in for the long run.
I'm over here like, can I go somewhere else? Like Hawaii, can we annex? I know Hawaii wants to annex from the US. I'm like, can we really do that? But if we annex, who's gonna take over us? China, Korea, Japan, Russia? Who? Because somebody's gonna swoop through.
I mean,
I mean, like, dude, I have these conversations all the time with people out here. They're like, yeah, man, we want to make it a kingdom. We're going to annex from the US. And I'm like, you know how many other countries is going to be like? And be like Birdman. let me get that Hawaii, though.
But would it be worse, though?
I don't know. It's worse, like, I mean, I don't know. I can't say that it would be.
I mean, you're into tech, right? Yeah, you're into tech. Imagine like the cheap tech you would get if China took over.
Super cheap. Well, technically, on a level, I mean, controversial to say, but I mean, you already have people from China and Japan and Korea that own the majority of the land in Hawaii anyway, that don't even live out here. That's why all the rental companies are either Chinese, Korean, or Japanese. Like, so they already own the bulk of the land out here anyway. And it's like, so I mean, I'm just saying, maybe it's already happened. I don't know. But yeah. So with that being said, people, we sign out. If y'all enjoyed it, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like. If you're listening to it on the podcast, sub if you haven't already. If you want to support the show, we got Patreon, which, whatever y'all invest into the show gets whatever you invest into me gets reinvested into the show. Better equipment. My little DIY broken microphone mount here. I try. I watch GAEL Level's videos though, but for real though, that's actually, that's some real talk though. Like watching your videos, that's why I've kind of changed my layout. I used to have a game wall and I got rid of that. I'm like, man, let me have something more chill. And I'm trying to get, eventually I'm going to do, because I've got these smart bulbs where I can change the lighting. But I've been thinking about getting something else so I can have like a lighting thing going on. Because it happens when I stream, because I stream late. So I can have the lighting layout. But during the day, like right now, it's like, sun's like, no, fuck your lights. But I kind of want to do something like that. But for real though, your videos, man, have helped me tremendously, especially as I've transitioned over from YouTube to Twitch. Like your content, dude, dust your shoulder off for real. Like you are killing it in the tutorial and helping people be better creators game. You really are. So if you're not going to brag, hell, I'm going to brag for you. You're the GOAT.
Appreciate it. It's good. It's good. Because I don't often get like the, someone else's point of view of how I'm doing. I only see like my numbers and what I want to do. But it feels good. It feels good. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And with that being said, people, this is GAEL Level and myself. We are signing out. Y'all stay safe. Wear your goddamn masks. Social distance. And we'll catch y'all on the next one. Hey, did you enjoy this episode of the Kasanova Podcast? Well, I'm sure you did. And since you did, and you're wondering where else you can find it on every podcasting outlet. Yes, that includes Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Launchpad DM by Podcast One, and so much more. And the only thing I ask of you is if you truly enjoyed it, even if you didn't enjoy it, please leave a rating and tell us what you thought of it, what you like, what you didn't like, and everything in between. And also, if you're looking for video formats of this podcast and many more, you'll be able to find them on youtube.com/Mekel Kasanova, as well as on twitch.tv/Mekel Kasanova, and new episodes every single Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, that being said, this is Mekel Kasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber. I am signing out. You guys have a great one.